breathing room. Now, Unsigned, 7 days, 3 KPI breaches, and it was all in the register the whole time. This week, we're staying with operational reality, but we're actually shifting to something that sits underneath every big decision your organization makes, and that is contracts and suppliers. And if you work in health, social care, commissioning, or any complex provider landscape, you'll know this pattern. The register exists, or maybe it doesn't. The renewal dates exist, they're in the contracts. The performance and there's compliance signals often exist somewhere in columns, flags, attachments, all that stuff. But you and your team don't have the time and the attention and the headspace to review and action all of those things. So this episode is going to be a live demo where AI can really help you literally speed that up to literally minutes. So my name is Laura Chattington. I partner with companies to embed AI into their work streams so they can save time, add more value, and fully leverage AI to scale what they do without sacrificing their sanity. I'm here with Tara Lee, who has over 20 years experience in health, safe, social care, and work in the third sector. She has a background of commissioning over £550 million worth of commissions and has a proven ability to drive transformational programs that yield tangible results. And we're here to help you embed AI into your organizational rhythm, using the tools that you already have and taking the opportunities that AI can give you and your teams and aligning that with culture and change and real life challenges. Yeah. So contracts, suppliers, again, this is like transformational AI in a very time-heavy area, right?
Absolutely. And more, we're being asked to provide greater assurance on our external supply chain. So it doesn't really matter what organization you're in. You don't operate in a bubble. You will have and be reliant on other suppliers, whether that's goods, services. You know, there's a whole range of things that we need to rely on third-party suppliers to deliver for us to ensure that our organizations and our businesses operate effectively. And not all of our organizations, and many don't, have dedicated procurement teams. You know, some do, and that's great and that's fabulous, but a lot of organizations don't. So quite often we've got already busy and stretched staff that are doing this as a component of other parts of their roles within an organization, yet we're expecting them to be on top of all of their contracts, to know when renewals are going to take place, to understand how all of their KPIs or their performance indicators are operating. And it's not because they aren't on top of things, and it's not because they're not working their socks off.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It's because quite often, and this is just the reality for a lot of organizations, you know, we've got a contract register that's held somewhere over here. We might be having performance conversations in a slightly different space. We might be holding our compliance information in a different place. Our contract documentation might be held by different individuals across the organization because we do have a sort of delegated ownership of our contracts, etc. So this is the detail, and I guess the issue is we need to obviously be reporting on this as well in terms of our upward reporting chains, in terms of our governance, our boards, our committees, and that isn't just a dump of data fields from an Excel spreadsheet or other documents.
That's piled in stuff, right?
Yeah, so we need to triangulate, we need to wrap narrative around it, and we need to provide context. So what really excites me about today, Laura, is what we're talking about is AI not replacing procurement or contract management within organizations. It's not about replacing that function or the individuals that lead those things in our organizations. But what it does do is it helps those individuals to synthesize and triangulate at speed. Yeah. It shows us where to focus our energies, to understand risk. And if we keep the accountability and the human oversight in the mix, it can be an incredibly powerful tool. Yeah. So I guess, Laura, before we go to the screen, where are some of the things we know that we lose time and we miss risk, even though people might have quite robust structures in place, and everything feels like it's there somewhere.
Yes. Well, I think that's the key, isn't it? It's like it's there somewhere.
Yes.
And the data exists in the organization. And in some organizations, it's very organized. Some organizations, it's not. Some organizations, it's all over the place. And as you said, it's not something that, it's not like a criticism of anyone. It's just one of those things that you just don't have time to get to. So actually, again, we're talking about using an AI intelligence to be able to process and infer and apply intelligence to a data set, so you don't have to be crawling through all of those. And even if you've got sophisticated spreadsheets, you know, there is a lot of value that AI can do. And I guess the best thing to do is show people what we mean.
Definitely.
So I'm going to just share my screen and hold on a sec. Window.
And while you're bringing that up, Laura, we should say that this demo is all based on proxy data. So there's no real data in here. We're not sharing any commercially sensitive information.
No, thank you for that. So all this this data is absolutely made up, but on sort of realistic data, but completely made up. And you'll see, like, what is the AI? And question you asked, what is the AI doing? AI is helping you see where commercial and operational risk sits across contracts and suppliers. You know, compliance, performance, how many hours, many hours to several days that you spend just processing the stuff, although the data sits there. And I'm going to show you, but it reads the data, it prioritizes the issues and the risks, weighs the trade-offs, all the governments, et cetera, and the difference, I always say this, the difference between, you know, the spreadsheet has the data and the pivots and everything, but the AI applies the intelligence and gives you the processing that you would do with with that data yourself. So it goes across categories, suppliers, and status. I'm just going to run it, and this is actually working in live, in real time. Okay, so I always like to show the timing it takes, because it really is so fast to actually.
It takes our teams a long time to synthesize some of this data sometimes, because it's the data alongside triangulating with a range of different data sources, and then obviously wrapping that nice narrative around it that we might need for our committees, our boards, etc., to provide our assurance and oversight element.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, again, it's on dummy data, so the data it may not be as big, but there's like 240 contracts. It's read that in less than a minute. And this can all be configured as what is needed for each of the organizations, but there's 16 renewals, there's 40 compliance actions, and there are 33 unsigned and 64 expired in that 250. And what the intelligence is doing is saying, look, here are some of the risks, you know, contracts expired, contract is due to expire, that supplier concerns, looking at the supplier, and is there, are there compliance issues? Are there performance issues? Are you sort of using a supplier too much? Are you in breach of the contract? Things like that, again, you just don't have time to review and read everything that's going on. And if you can hear that in the background, we've got hail here in London. So it's highlighting those immediate actions and looking forward, you know, what are the things you need to be focused on in the next 90 days? And then it gives you that forward horizon, you know, what is unsigned, what are the areas, you know, what needs renewal, what's expired, all of those things. And I'm just going to show you, if you can hear that.
Nothing like a live stream in a hailstorm.
Hailstorm. If you tell me if you can't hear me.
No, we can hear you. It's okay.
Cool. So just to show you again that it's live data. So I'm just selecting like services in the category and active, and it's going to run that intelligence again. So you can really configure exactly what you want, and it's doing all that intelligence and applying that intelligence, and then bringing that information to you in a way that can be really helpful. So again, 20 contracts, there's no renewals, no compliance issues, but there are 2 unsigned. And again, the priorities, the supplier concerns, immediate actions, and that forward horizon.
And as you say, all completely configurable depending on where an organization likes to focus, where they think they might have particular risks in their supply chain and they want to focus in. So this is all completely adaptable, changeable, and can be built to an organization's needs.
Yeah, exactly that. And if you can still hear me, because hopefully that...
We can.
And yeah, so if your organization, as Tara says, you know, all of that data is sitting in your organization and everything is tailored and configured to exactly what you want and to what your team needs to see, and it all depends on the contracts you have. So if your organization is sitting on like registers, renewals, supplier performance data, but leadership still only kind of doesn't see that full picture and doesn't see where the escalations are, and you want to explore how AI-assisted systems and synthesis can really buy back your team huge amounts of time, but also compliance and areas of risk, then send us a message on LinkedIn or comment below, and we look forward to speaking with you soon. And next time, we are going to be talking about why AI strategy needs to come from the executive team so you can lead your teams, because your teams are probably feeling everyone's using AI, so who knows how they're using it. They're probably feeling like they might be losing their jobs, because that's how lots of people are feeling. They might be using it unsafely, and it's really thinking about where, securing the data that you have in the organization. So that's what we're going to be talking about next time, and we look forward to seeing you there soon.